It's here, the iPhone 15 Pro Max and possibly the best Android camera phone, the Huawei Pura 17 Ultra. Who wins? In this video, I'll break down every part of the two, going into detail about them. So, this is the one video to learn all about them. Stay tuned for that. Also, I will compare the Pura 17 Ultra a bit with its vanilla version, the Pura 70, just to test if that gimmick pop-up camera matters. And guys, please subscribe if you haven't, because I paid all the money out of my own pocket for all these expensive phones. It's totally honest and unbiased. No sponsorship is... Oh, yeah, this video is sponsored by Bang Case, which is such a cool case with customizable buttons for your iPhones. We're talking about later. Now, let's get to the camera comparisons first. Alright, first things first, let's talk about the pop-up camera lens on the Pura 17 Ultra. This retractable lens isn't used for zooming, as many people might think, but purely to provide more space for the lens to better match the 1-inch sensor and the large aperture lens. This retractable lens structure doesn't move with the lens. If we adjust the focus in manual mode, you can see the actual lens moving inside. So, to answer the question I mentioned at the beginning, does that retractable lens really matter when taking photos compared to its basic version, the Pura 70? Probably not. I mean, the difference lies more in the sensor. The Pura 70 Ultra features the 1-inch Sony IMX989, while the Pura 70 features the OmniVision OV50H. Though for the main camera, both feature 50 megapixel. Here I took some photos with the main camera so you can see the differences. I would say they definitely have differences, but not huge ones. For daylight photos, it's more about the color tone. The Pura 70 tends to be warmer. For other major differences, the Pura 70 only supports a maximum 50 times digital zoom, while the Pura 70 Ultra supports a maximum 100 times digital zoom. Yet the Pura 70 Ultra definitely has much better zoom capability. Also, the Pura 70 doesn't support telephoto macro, if that's something you're interested to know. Both support high-speed flash shooting, probably the best feature you want to try. No worries, the Pura 70 has it. I tested them in different scenarios, with the cars, and my kung fu kicks. Man, this is superb. Both of them capture my ultra-fast, deadly kung fu kicks perfectly. With that out of the way, let's finally move on to comparing the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. Well, before that, you may wonder who has a better camera interface operation? One running Harmony OS and the other iOS. Harmony OS is pretty much like Android OS. You can check out or set everything right inside the camera interface here. But for the iPhone, it offers several options that Apple thinks you need most. But if you want to check out the details of the camera, you have to navigate to settings, find the camera, and then click inside to check them out. It's quite inconvenient, especially when compared to Android devices, where main operations are more intuitive, not just the camera function I mentioned. But what if I told you there is an iPhone case that comes with a customizable button, allowing you to complete thousands of actions with just 1 or 2 taps? Yes, I'm talking about the Bang case. This isn't just a cool case with a transparent retro tech aesthetic design, it's also a practical tool. It connects with your iPhone with Bluetooth, and you can set different shortcuts to this button and the case in 3 ways. Single tap, double tap, and long press. For example, I send the combine images task to long press. All I need to do is just long press the button and it will automatically open my photo album and choose the desired photos, and that's it. I can even set take the photo to share on Instagram. How cool is that? The official Bankers team offers even many more interesting shortcuts to it, so you can enjoy fully. All can be done with this single button. Moreover, the case offers a 30-day battery life and strong magnetic wireless charging, ideal for any Apple user seeking enhanced functionality with a unique aesthetic. And if you are interested, you can find the link in the description and even get one. Now, let's get back to the camera comparisons. Alright, how's the high-speed flash shooting comparison? Here I found some interesting facts. Though we'll make sure to take photos at the same frequency, the Pura 70 Ultra manages to take 23 more photos. And that holds true for other scenarios as well. Believe me, I've tested a crazy number of scenarios, from street cars to children riding their bikes to my dogs dancing. I test them all and confirm that. With that being said, there are many wonderful moments that the iPhone didn't capture, but Huawei did. The second thing is for iPhone, it will just show the final pictures instantly when you check them out. However, for Huawei, when you click the photo album after finishing shooting, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds to process. But man, just check out the pictures before and after. It's a huge difference. All the blurs just magically disappear. I tested this in some less ideal light conditions like indoors and night streets. It can effectively erase the blurs. Of course, I'm not saying the Pura 70 Ultra can process all the fast speed photos perfectly, but most of them. So if you compare it to the iPhone, it clearly wins. The iPhone actually isn't doing a bad job. It's capable of capturing decent photos as well, but not as good as the Pura 70 Ultra. You can clearly see the subtle or obvious blurriness in the photos. I think all of this contributes to Huawei's powerful AI. Let's take my selfie, for example, whether I just want to get rid of the people behind me, or even myself. It does a fairly decent job. The AI-generated picture looks very natural, though reality might not look like this. The picture appears natural, doesn't it? A bit more off topic, some guy, not me, tried this feature on removing the bit from a girl's chest close part and generated a big cleavage out of the air. This became news on Chinese social media, and Huawei quickly fixed it with a software update. Some guy, not me, commented, "Damn, probably the best feature I like about the Pura 70. That AI deeply understands human nature." The second thing I want to test is the Telephoto Macro. It's not a new feature, but this time there's a new experience. For the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra, it can achieve a minimum focusing distance of 5 cm and 35 times macro zoom. Can you guess what these objects are? Interesting, right? It's a lot of fun. So compared to the iPhone, Huawei's replayability is much better and offers much better macro photo capability. I don't even need to move the phone closely to a subject, and I can take really good macro photos. Of course, I also took some ordinary macros of the two. You can check them out. The two features I mentioned above are actually the two biggest updates for the camera field, and it seems Huawei does a decent job and really surprised me. It seems iPhone has been left behind. AI is the hot kick now. I hope iPhone can somehow learn from that. But how about other ordinary photos? Here we go. For main camera photos, I took some in broad daylight with good lighting. Well, to be honest, I'm not so much interested in analyzing too much, as flagship nowadays, they do so well at this part. There's literally not much of a big difference. Huawei tends to brighten the image and make them more pleasing to the eye, while iPhone, as always, stays true to reality. For night photos, both overall look good, but there might be slight differences. Huawei has better dynamic range with better control over exposure. You can check out the highlighted parts. iPhone has a much greater chance to get overexposed, not just in one photo, but in some. All these photos were taken in auto mode with no interference. Now, about other focal lengths. I guess you need a magnifier to look for difference for ultra-wide, 2 times or even under 5 times zoom. I know the iPhone 15 Pro Max supports 5 times optical zoom, while the Pura 70 Ultra only supports 3.5 times, but from back and forth comparison of the two on a giant computer monitor, it still seems not that huge, let alone on a phone screen. However, once you pass 5 times, the difference is obvious. Check out 10 times, iPhone tends to become much softer with lots of noise. If you compare 25 times, iPhone's max zoom looks like they are not from the same age. Huawei looks so sharp and clean, no noise can be seen. By the way, Huawei supports a max 100 times digital zoom, though for that max range, Huawei still looks good. But I would say obviously it's been computationally processed. What do you think? Speaking of that, check out the before and after AI algorithm processing. Regarding other focal lengths at night, well, the same issue for iPhone with highlighted parts overexposed, more grainy after 10 times, but I find it very interesting that at 10 times, iPhone keeps more details. Check out the tiles on the poster or the stories of the building. Well, Huawei really just softens everything. But honestly, overall, Huawei did a better job. What do you think? Now, portrait photos. For this part, I'm always a bit torn to judge. Huawei tends to come with features, namely the beauty effect, which caters to many Eastern Asian users, especially females, I guess. While for iPhone, it's just so real with basically no offer on beauty, which is more for Western users. So I don't know which really outperforms which. It's more of a cultural thing. Nevertheless, both did a great job. Nice bokeh, natural edge transition. If I have to choose, I guess Huawei wins slightly with more details on edge parts. You can even see how many hairs there are. With iPhone, you just blur them. But that's probably just too picky. Overall, they're just great. To sum up the photo performance of the two, both represent the top performance from the Harmony OS, okay, I will just call it Android, and iOS industries. Undoubtedly, top tier contenders. If I have to choose a winner, I guess Huawei wins for its AI algorithm. While they may have similar main photo capabilities, Huawei excels significantly in long zoom capabilities, making them seem generations ahead. Additionally, Huawei shines with its versatility, such as Snapshot and Telephoto macro features, but is the best Android camera phone? Well, I will leave this to my next video, as compared with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, Oppo Find X7 Ultra, etc. Furthermore, I'll be using it to compare with the Vivo X100 Ultra once it's out in May. And finally, let's dive into the video comparison. For this part, you can simply watch and clearly differentiate between them, assessing the audio quality and stabilization easily. I reserve my conclusion for the end, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. To avoid influencing your judgment, I won't say anything now. Alright, 4K 60 FPS for the front camera. Wow, like this is the for the first time I can see a Chinese brand, a Chinese phone brand that offers better dynamic range. Okay, for the front camera, I can see very clear the front, the background, the sky, the cloud. Okay. But on the iPhone, it's like totally blown out. Let me just switch a little bit for you guys. Right? You can see the cloud. Now let me just test the stabilization. Okay. Now 4K 30 FPS for the front camera. Extremely dark environment. From this, I can see, like, you know, for Huawei, the whole screen will light up. So you can see my face is really brighter than what's on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Okay. But from what I can see, Huawei seems a little more grainy, even though with this much light. And whoa, but my face looks much brighter. iPhone is like average, okay, just dark. Okay, let me just run. Let me just run to see. Okay. Now 4K 30 FPS for the rear camera. And let's check out who has the best stabilization, who has the best night performance. I will just run a little bit. Okay, so let me know who's better. All right. Seems like for Huawei, a little bit more dynamic range. What do you think? Or a little bit over saturated? I need to check this on computer. Okay, that's it. Let's test the stabilization. I will just shake, right? I will just shake the camera. Ooh, just shake the camera. I will just shake the camera to see who has the best stabilization. Okay, now stabilization 4K 60 FPS. Let's be a little bit real. Okay, just okay. Okay. Who is the best? Okay, Ultra steady. Ultra steady. Ultra steady. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, Ultra steady. Who has the best stabilization? I think it's iPhone, right? Okay. I'm comparing the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Woo! Just check out. Woo! Let's check out which camera has the best cinematic videos, okay? And the best bokeh effect. Okay, let's go. Okay. Alright, now the zoom test, okay, for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is one, okay. This is one. This is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.5, 10, and this is 15. So this is 15 times. And now for Huawei, this is ultra wide, and then go 2.6, okay, 6 times. Okay, we just focus 6 times. Go 4 times. 4.5, 7, and this is 11, 12 times, 13 times, 14 times, 15 times. I know iPhone looks a bit pretty, but much clearer text. For the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra, it's like totally soft, right? I know it has better noise control, but it's not as clear as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it looks really soft. So for this zoom test, I guess iPhone 15 Pro Max is won this battle, okay? Alright, zoom test 4K 30 fps, so both at ultra wide, and then 1, 2 on iPhone, 4 on iPhone now, so we go. What's the 4 on iPhone? No, 4 on Pura 17. 6. Seems like this time like Pura 17 does better job. 15 and all the way to 15. I don't know. Now seems Huawei Pura 17 looks really bad. Much more brighter and more details. Okay, let's move a little bit. Let's see. We move to this part. Okay. Obviously, iPhone 15 Pro Max better, less noise, and clearer text. Right? If you move down, yeah. Still, for iPhone, it has won the zoom at night. Okay. And that concludes the comparison. It took me a lot of time to edit and shoot. So guys, please subscribe. Your likes are my own motivation. Special thanks to my sponsor, Bankers. Check it out if you are interested. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.